What's up, guys? Ben Nauman here with the Flip Texas podcast. I am excited to be here this morning with Jonathan Chacon. He finally got with the program, stopped investing in California, and came down to the great country of Texas. Welcome on in.
Yes, sir.
Great to see you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
He has been here for a little while, though, now investing in Texas.
Yes.
About how long have you been here?
Investing in Texas has been close to 4 years already.
Sweet. Good to hear.
Yes.
Good to hear. I know we've had definitely different deals where we've come across each other and we've definitely connected.
Yes.
I know you're a person in the Houston market that everybody needs to know.
100%.
And I know you've done residential properties, fix and flip, rental properties,
Yes.
single family, commercial flips and commercial holds, I believe, as
Yes,
well.
yes, of course, 100%.
Multiple properties, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm glad to talk about it, see what's up. So did you start in residential or did you start in
No, I
commercial?
started
What did that look like?
So the first deal that I did was in California. I literally begged my dad to help me with the first deal, and he finally gave in. We bought an 8-unit in California, and we bought it for I think 640. I had been seeing that property on the MLS going in and out of contract, and finally we submitted an offer. We lowballed them, and I guess they had a 1031 exchange that they needed to do. So
Okay.
they were like desperate. So we ended up like price dropping them. We ended up getting it for 640. And then we went in, raised the rents, cleaned it up. We didn't really spend that much. And at that time, I wasn't where I'm at right now, where I just hire people and delegate. I was like over there, like swinging the hammer, like putting in windows, cleaning the yard myself, painting and stuff like that. It wasn't like as glamorous as people think that it is.
So it seems
yeah.
like you were doing a lot of the work yourself.
Yeah, you have to, bro. You're not gonna start at the top and be the top dog from day one. It doesn't exist. But we ended up during the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, I ended up selling that property because I needed liquidity. But I ended up selling it for $1,050,000.
Woo.
Like 2 years later that I bought the property. So I did pretty decent. I had already in the process of owning it, I had already cashed out a couple times before I pretty much ended up in a good position. So
So you
what's
were able to
beauty
do
about
multiple
commercial is that you can
refi-
just keep on refining and pulling out money if you need to. So
Wow.
it's pretty badass.
So you were able to refinance the property twice
Before.
in 2 years and still
sell.
sell the property for a profit.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Yes. And that helped me, obviously get to where I'm at right now. Commercial is better margins than, doing a little flip and you make 20K,
Okay.
So it's a different story.
Cool. Well, I've ever since we met, probably at least I want to say at least 3 years ago here in Houston. You've always been a little bit. You've always been ahead of me, and I've always been taking notes. What's Jonathan doing? I need to watch out what this guy's doing. I know now you're living the lake lifestyle. Is it the beach or the?
No, it's a bay.
It's the bay lifestyle, the water lifestyle. You got the boat. He's got the boats. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. In terms of how did that you switch back to the residential, and I want to talk about like the differences between residential and commercial, because I know you built up your single family to like I remember you telling me like close to 50 single family homes, I believe.
No. I think at one point I had like 12 single family. I didn't have that at 50. No, I wish I did.
So that was
But
like
no.
including rehabs.
That was I was probably including my multifamily that I had at that time.
I see.
Yeah, it was a mixture of both. But yeah, I still feel that single family is good. We still buy single family. We buy them all the time. We just bought one in San Leon, and we fixed it, and we put it on the market. And a lot of the old houses that I owned previously, the market went up so much that we just started offloading those houses and buying more multifamily. And that's what we've been doing this year, selling a lot of the single family that I own.
Like like are we talking like Monopoly, just like trading up?
Exactly. I traded two. I traded them up, and then right now I just sold one. And I'm the kind of person that I've been risking so much for the last 4 years, 5 years of my business that I feel now it's about more like preserving my assets and making sure that I have enough capital reserves for like, you know, the changing economic cycle that we're living in right now, right? Things are changing so fast right now that you got to have capital reserves, you know? So now I'm trying to like save, you know, a certain amount of money that I have in mind, and I'm wholesaling and selling and buying and doing stuff like that more than holding, you know?
I like how you're doing a big combination of strategies personally because I see some people they're like I actually met Del Walmsley.
I don't know.
Okay, he owns Lifestyles Unlimited.
Okay.
And I was a little embarrassed to tell him like, hey, I hold some properties, but like I flip as well. Like I was a little embarrassed
Wow.
because they're like, you know, big on like not flipping. But I think that's really cool how it's you think of it as a combination to where you have active income and then you have your wealth building kind of on the
Yes,
side,
100%.
or
Yes. So I am a strong believer in just like buying and selling is important. The issue with us as like me and you, our business is real estate. Our business is not like most people who buy and hold forever. Their client base is like business owners, doctors, attorneys that they want to buy and hold and just hold it forever. We're not that kind of guy. If I would have just bought and kept that 8 unit that I had, and then I bought another 10 unit in Las Vegas, if I would have just kept those, I would never be in the position where I'm at today. You have to keep trading up. There's no way around it, especially for a normal person, like not coming from a doctor or an attorney that makes 500,000 a year. You know, we're like normal people that made 100,000 a year or 50,000 a year. You know, like I had a landscaping business in California. Where am I gonna get, you know, a big amount of money to put down on properties? So if you buy and sell, you get that chunk of money and you put it down on a property, or you continue to buy up, you know, and bigger deals. Right now, we're trying to not buy small deals. Anything that's under, you know, 20 units, we just sell.
wow.
So that's if we just buy it, we're just cleaning it up and listing it or sell it to other investors. And we're looking at more like we're looking at right now 175 units, but we're kind of scared right now with the current economic conditions. So we're submitting the LOI today on that property, and we'll see if it works. If not, then it is what it is.
I like it. So you're just you're just selling off those smaller properties to wait for that right opportunity, or
Think so.
like just wait for that right property to come that you can trade up into a larger one. And like what advice do you have for people that say they have a couple single family, say they have like 2 to 7 single family properties, and say they're doing like single family flipping, and they're like, there's a lot of people like this.
A lot.
They've been thinking about commercial for like 2 years, 3 years, you know, Lord knows 5 years, I don't know, and they just they're scared about jumping from single family to commercial.
A
Do
lot
you
of
have
people
any,
are.
like, what do you say about the risk to reward, and like any like a couple like any advice on making that jump?
I would suggest to. I did this myself with Boris. He's the one that initiated like me going mostly commercial, is buying with the least money as possible, and that is a big strategy that you have to do, and you have to like actually pay attention to the properties and invest your time. It's not just like a lot of people think you just buy them and you're gonna become rich. Multifamily is more time intensive, bro, because it depends on where you're buying. If you're buying the C and D classes, they're gonna be more work, bro. They have the people are just more headaches. It's not like your A and B class where people just pay, you know. But I feel if you're gonna start there to get your feet wet, to understand the market, understand appraisals, understand everything, and you're gonna pay to play. You know, like no one's gonna give you like the path to success. You kind of gotta live it yourself and buy something where you feel comfortable that you can manage yourself, and then you move on to the next deal. You know, and then if with time the values will go up. You know, when I bought my deal, my first multifamily here in Houston from Boris, I bought it for like 45 a door, 40 a door. He was selling it to me.
How many units is this?
That was, I think, like I believe it was 16 units, and I bought it from him, and then now it's worth, you know, a lot more. So, you know, you have to kind of like do that, get your feet wet, and then you understand the system. You understand like how the workers work, everything about it, and then once you master that, then you can move on to the next position, and then you can maybe buy and sell. That's why I say sell some, because if you sell some, then now you're going to be able to move into bigger projects. Okay. And you know, the bigger projects they are, the more money you're going to make. As a perfect example right now, we just me and Kaylin found, my girlfriend, she found a 16 unit in Galveston. She got under contract. She had been talking to this owner for like the past 3 years, and finally came to an agreement. We closed on it. We cleaned it up, we remodeled it, and we just cashed out, refinance, and we got about, I think, like 550,000. And then obviously some of it, like 130,000.
That's incredible.
Like 160,000 was our money that we put down on the property, but the rest was a cash out. So what we do with our cash outs is we don't just blow the money, we save it, and just like I was telling you, it's about protection now. We save the money because the property is going to continue to need maintenance, and you want to upkeep properties. You don't want to be a slumlord. You want to, if an AC goes out, put a new one, and you have the money in reserves. If you have vacancies go up, you can continue to pay the mortgage. You don't want to be like the guy that just goes and buys a fancy car and just blows the money. You know, we're very responsible people because we're business people. We have to be responsible.
That's a really good area for holding a apartment complex.
It is, bro. So it's literally like, it's UTMB is like right there. You can just like walk to it.
Wow.
It's like not even a block away from UTMB. So it's a great place. We're renting them out for $1,700, bro, for a 2-1 half. So it's really good. Our cash flow is projected to be well. Obviously, when a lot of people don't understand this, but cash flow is not going to happen until maybe a year or two later, until the property is stabilized. Your first year, you're going to like find out the worst problems of the property because they're going to come up. Because as people start using the property again, like the sewer's gonna back up, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and then you're gonna feel like devastated because, you know, people think it's just like, I just buy it and that's it. Like, no, it doesn't happen that way. It's like
once you're saying once it's stabilized, okay, now maybe
I think a year and a half,
okay,
you'll start seeing the results of your labor. We have one that was really good, and the better the area, the better the results, bro. That's what I would learn about.
In terms of cash flow, or just in terms of like
everything,
value add or tenant?
In terms of everything, because we bought a 8 unit last year in the Heights, and it's right off of Main and 45, behind the Whataburger.
Mm-hmm.
We bought an 8 unit there. It's 8 studios. We gutted it, bro. We did it all new, like new plumbing, new electrical, new everything. And we filled it in, bro, and we don't have any problems there. Like, people just pay rent, and they don't bug us, and it's the kind of people that are there that are a little better.
Yeah, because it's not a lower class tenant.
Hey, unfortunately, it's sad, but
they're paying at least like 14 plus.
No, but these are small, bro. They're studios.
Okay.
So we rent them out for I think $850, which is they're like 250 square feet.
What?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Y'all are going to have to kick that back.
Yes.
You're renting out in Texas, in the Heights, 250 square foot studios with a bathroom.
With a bathroom and a small little kitchen.
For $800 a month?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. I've heard the lowest anybody's done is 500 square foot. That's crazy.
No, these are small studios.
Wow.
Tiny, bro. It's like literally, it's very small. But people love it, bro. Because it's the cheapest thing in the area.
Location still.
Exactly, with a good location. And what's crazy is that they don't even have parking. It's street parking.
It's crazy.
And people love it. And they stay there, and they don't give us any problems. Since everything's new, the plumbing, electrical, everything's brand new, we don't have any problems.
So when you went into that project, so say, we're talking to like a newer investor that hasn't jumped into commercial yet, this property came up in the Heights, I'm sure some people would have been like, man, this looks expensive. What was the purchase price on that? And then do you think you still bought that at a discount and you were still able to like buy it on private money and then refinance to a long-term product?
Yes, we did. We bought it for $325,000, which is a really good deal. And then we spent about $170 on it. And then we didn't cash out because we had left some money in the deal, because most of the time we tried to rehab with our own money to avoid paying the interest payments. So we'll rehab with our own money, pay until we really need the money, then we'll do a draw.
Okay.
But most of the time we try to like deplete our accounts. That way we're not paying, 12% or 10% interest on, like a couple $100,000 where it's just sitting in my bank,
Okay.
So I'd rather just use my money, and then when we refinance, we get the money back.
Okay.
So that's kind of our strategy with that, But yeah, I think they appraised it at like $680,000, and we were able to get our money back and a little bit.
Nice.
So we got like 50,000, I think.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a home run, but it's a great property.
Really solid.
Really like $2,300 a month. So that's a great example of a good deal. Yeah, it's a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
However, what a lot of people don't understand is when you have a big portfolio, you might have the stars. Like that's your star, and then you have another few stars that make the good money. But then you have like the stragglers. You have like the lower income where you have like higher turnover and higher problems, and those are the ones that I'm going to try to slowly sell with time, But we're stuck. Another issue is people don't understand when they go into commercial is that sometimes you have to be careful with yield maintenance. They got me on a loan like that.
Tell to the average person, we don't know, what yield maintenance means.
So yield maintenance literally means that if you sign the contract with them, you have to, if you try to get out of the loan and try to sell the property, you have to pay the interest, the remaining interest on the entire
length of the loan.
Yes, exactly. So I can't sell it. So I wanted to sell it during right now this hot market, and I'm stuck with it. So I gotta wait another 3 years to sell it. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it. What we ended up doing is we shifted towards Section 8 tenants. So we filled it all with Section 8, and now we're in a better position now. But through like trial and error, we went through a lot. Like it's painful because sometimes you would have high vacancies, and like during the pandemic, it was very tough. But we just went through it. We wholesale a lot during the pandemic and made a lot of money like that to live.
Okay, nice. So you're making your money, paying for these boats, paying for some of your your lake lifestyle with the wholesaling, single family flipping, trading up into the bigger stuff.
Yes, 100%, bro.
Cool.
Yes, I love it.
I love it. Any other words of wisdom to the audience for just taking that leap into their first property? And what do you think is the ideal first property for someone? They have experience rehabbing. They've done a rehab before, and they're jumping into their first one. Do you have a certain like size property you think is ideal, and or completely vacant or not completely vacant? Because some people, when I say completely vacant, they're like, oh,
they panic.
No, like whoa, like
yeah,
like it's a
they get scared. Yeah, a lot of people get scared, and that 8 unit was completely vacant, so it shied a lot of people got scared from buying that. But for me, completely vacant is better because I can go in and rehab the entire property. I'll bring in 3 crews and put 1 crew in each, or I'll give them like two units per crew, and they'll just bang them out in like a month. Right now we're doing one in Galveston. We're doing a 32 unit in Galveston. We're doing one right now. We're rehabbing it. So it's really hard to find labor right now. I have 2 crews there right now. One of them is putting floors and painting. Another one's doing the exterior. And then we're having the landscaper that's separate. That's gonna do the outside. But we should be hopefully done in like a month. I was trying to do it faster, but sometimes you just gotta like, it's just, this is my first bigger project, like a 30 unit. So it's a different dynamic. Like I thought it was gonna be easy, but it's not. It's a little more harder because like there was like I think 18 vacant units. So when we went in, it's like hold on, we gotta like write things down. It's not like you could just remember like this unit this unit that. So we had to become more organized. Like we had to like
Okay.
I have an assistant. I send her out there. I'm like, hey, write down all the ones that need this. Write down, go and check all the units. What do they need? And she went through and checked them. And then on top of that, we had to send somebody else because to double check her work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little slower moving machine. And then you have to like lease them all out. And then this property had like a branding problem. So we ended up we're gonna change the name and change the branding of the building.
Okay. The
to make
painting, I'm sure the
we
exterior.
changed the painting, the outside. We're making it a little more luxurious, quote unquote.
This sounds like there's going to be a lot of equity though there
Yes,
once you
there
get
is.
it fully
Hopefully
stabilized.
it's gonna be like $1 million in equity. Yeah. Yes, it's gonna be nice.
Okay, I like it.
But yes, but like I said, I feel like if it's somebody who's gonna start from scratch, I believe that they should definitely start with maybe like a 10 unit. Get your
Okay.
feet wet, understand how it works, and then move on to the next one. And then as people start seeing you do the business, then you can bring partners in. That's how I was able to grow by
Okay.
bringing in partners because sometimes, like I said, our money is sometimes invested in other deals and we run out of money. You know how it is.
You can't do five. I mean, regardless of how even Donald Trump can't do five, of the biggest hotels in the world at the same,
You have to bring in
probably of the
people.
biggest properties in the world at the same time.
And that's one thing that I've learned the hard way, that sometimes you need other people and it creates relationships with them. You become friends with them and you build long-lasting friendships with people. It's fun, then it becomes fun. And the whole objective of real estate is to make money and have a good time and not feel like stressed. And I've learned that the hard way because I've stressed out. I think all of us stress a lot. And that's like the biggest problem with real estate. It's so stressful. It's extremely stressful. You know this.
Oh, it is. I mean, a lot of times there's so many problems to solve every day.
Oh my God.
I just sent an application to get a unit leased, and before last night, the lady says, "Oh no, I've never been evicted. I've never been evicted. My record's
Bullshit.
clean, whatever, right?" And I made the mistake of I'm like, man, I'm just like really busy right now. I'm just gonna pay for that. I'm just gonna pay for the online thing, like pay for her application to apply too. And now I'm like, I'm not gonna. She got evicted like 4 years ago in Michigan or something. Anyways, so it's okay. I texted the next lady who's on deck, and she's sending in her application now. Anyways, but
I
yeah.
would suggest to you, as you're a very active investor, and we're very active too, like you, is to hire a realtor, bro. And unfortunately, we don't want to pay it, but it's gonna be the best cost that you're gonna do because I've learned the hard way, bro. Like hiring a realtor for units is the best. They're gonna bring you. They're gonna be like, hey, here's everything. There's no fucking whatever your requirements
Mhm.
are, and you're gonna prove it, and you're
They'll
done.
probably do it better than you too, because
Exactly,
you
they're
have so
professionals.
much other stuff going on. You're
Yeah.
like, next thing you know, you're like everything looks good, but then you're like, oh,
You missed something.
did I check all the paychecks, every
Yeah,
paycheck
exactly.
stuff? Or-
And nobody wants to pay, but sometimes you have to pay, bro. Like we hired the realtor for the Galveston projects right now. She already leased out 2. We're still leasing out.
pre-lease. Or-
No.
Okay.
They're already done.
Okay.
But
Nice.
we still leasing ourselves. Plus, we give it to a realtor.
Wow.
So if we have let's just say we have 10 vacant units, we'll give exclusive rights to a realtor, 2 of them, and then we'll be like, okay, then we're gonna continue to market our own.
Okay.
That way, we're like,
At the same,
there's
it's-
more
'cause it's
people moving.
speed.
Exactly, it speed things up, and we've learned that because sometimes you'll have 10 vacant units that are rehab just sitting there, and we're like, no, we need more hands here to lease this out, and we're busy selling deals, buying deals. Like we don't have time to be
I love it.
watching all the applications and all that stuff.
Dude, I have one last question, bro. Because I really like you as a person. I look up to you. With doing all these things in commercial real estate, still doing a couple residential deals on the side as well. You're direct. I know you and your significant other are talking to sellers sometimes as well.
We do.
You're literally managing the contractors, managing these properties getting stabilized. How do you have any tips on someone like me? And I'm looking to move. Say I'm moving to a stage in my life where say I have a great son like your, a good-looking family like yours in the next couple of years. Maintaining that work-life balance or having time to hang out on the water, maintain that work-life balance.
I believe that there's no right time to do things. You just have to do them. And me and Kaylin got to the point earlier this year where we were like pulling our hair out because we were like, we have property in Galveston and we have property in the Heights and we have property in like Northside, and it's like we were going all over the city, and I couldn't even make it to this podcast at that time probably because I was so busy. But now what I realize is that you have to invest into your business. Your business is like your life, so you can't just buy toys. You have to pretty much invest in your business, like hire somebody, hire staff. That's what it's for. Like, we are not looking at it more on the cash flow side. We're looking at more as this is our retirement money for our rentals. So we're like, let's staff it up. That way they can run the property management like a real property management company with 2 maintenance men, and we have 3 people in the office. We let go of all the VAs. We're all full-time in-house staff. That way we're not running around like crazy chickens everywhere. We're focused on acquisitions and buying and selling. That's where we make money. You know this, bro. We make money off of buying and selling.
Everything else is like ancillary.
Exactly. It's extra because the rentals is a wealth building machine. It's not a get quick rich scheme. It's not, bro. So you have to, a lot of people get frustrated because they like listen to their guru and they tell you you're gonna cash flow $5,000 a month, and then they get devastated because they don't.
That means I can sleep in and live on the beach now, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't work. You know that. That's not real. The reality is that rentals are for your future, are for your like 5 years down the line. You pay down some of the property, it appreciated. So then you're like, okay, now I have 50 properties. You accumulated 50 properties in that time. And you have a really good staff, and you're like, hey, you know what? Let me re-strategize this, and let me think about how I can make this better. Maybe I should sell a few, and then I can do like new developments, or that we've been thinking about that, or you can reshuffle things, or you know what? Hey, I want to sell a couple houses. I want to buy myself a boat, and that's what I did. Sell a couple houses and buy myself a nice house, or buy myself this. But it's not gonna come.
So you're doing like a combination of work lifestyle. We're mixing it together. Do you have a caretaker that like helps you out with your son, or like family members, or because I'm like, dude, like I know like little one's a lot of work.
Yeah, so we are cheating on parenthood. So we have a full-time nanny. So she lives with us.
Okay. And we're getting the words of wisdom here.
She lives with us, and actually, one of my lenders, I think you know him, Bill. He took me to dinner, and he's like, "Jonathan, you have to get a nanny." And we got one, and my mom did too. So we hired the lady, and it's probably the best decision we ever made because, Kaylin cannot work, and me as the same as. Being tired and like sleepless nights, and it's a lot, bro.
And dude, it seems like she's a superstar. Really helping out the family business as well. It's incredible.
Okay, then.
Yeah, just like
100%, bro.
How y'all are working together.
Whoever you pick in life to be your partner is gonna determine how successful you are, because they will either make you or break you, bro.
For sure. Well, I appreciate it. Sure. Great to have you on as always. Right, how can people reach you? And then do you want to give people, tell people about your upcoming business trip as well?
Yeah. We're going to be doing the RER abroad, and it's gonna be, I'm not sure the dates, but you can link with me on Instagram on HTX One Day Closer, and on Facebook too, Jonathan Chacon.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Talk to you all soon.
Thank you.